Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Electrosteel Casting Limited Q4 FY-25 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will remain in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal the operator by pressing star, then zero on your touch-tone telephone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vikash Verma from EY LLP. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Electrosteel Casting Limited, I welcome you all to the company's Q4 and FY25 earnings call. To discuss the performance of the company, we have with us from the management team Mrs. Radha Kejriwal Agarwal, Whole-Time Director, Mr. Madhav Kejriwal, Whole-Time Director, Mr. Sunil Katyal, Whole-Time Director and CEO, Mr. Ashutosh Agarwal, Whole-Time Director and Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Gaurav Somani, General Manager, Finance. Before we proceed with this call, I would like to draw your attention to the fact that today's discussion may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to various risks, uncertainties, and other factors which will be beyond management control. We kindly request that you bear in mind there may be uncertainties when interpreting such statements. We will now start the session with the opening remarks for the management team. Afterwards, we will open the floor for interactive Q&A session. I will now hand over the conference over to Mr. Madhav Kejriwal for his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Madhav.
A very good evening to all. I'm pleased to highlight the company's performance and the promising industry demand outlook going forward. I'd like to walk you through some of the major developments and challenges we faced this year. The first half of the financial year demonstrated growth over the previous half year, while the second half witnessed some slowdown. This was primarily due to two key factors: reduced spending by the central government on its flagship scheme, the Jal Jeevan Mission. The initial budget for FY-2024-25 was 70,000 crores, which was subsequently revised down to 22,000 crores. However, recognizing the critical importance of the scheme, the government has extended it till 2028 and allocated a significantly higher budget of 67,000 crores for FY25-26. In parallel, work has commenced on long-pending river-linking projects. A notable milestone was the inauguration of the Ken-Betwa river-linking project by PM Narendra Modi ji on December 25th, 2024. An important step forward in India's water resource management strategy. This I will cover in detail after taking you through the performance of the company. We undertook two shutdowns of the blast furnace at our south unit, one during Q2 and another towards the end of Q3, which are extended into the early days of Q4. These maintenance activities, while essential, temporarily impacted production volumes in the later half of the year. The company's consolidated total income stood at INR 7,443 crores during FY25, reflecting a temporary dip due to two shutdowns, as I mentioned, and a slight slowdown in the market demand. The plant has regained stability since. Our phase-wise expansion to take the capacity from 6.8 lakh tons to 1 million is in progress as per schedule, and I'm delighted to share that our installed capacity has now been enhanced to 9 lakh tons by the year end. This added capacity is expected to yield higher volumes as we gradually ramp up production in the coming quarters, positioning us for robust growth. We have already incurred approximately 500 crores of the capex for this expansion up to FY25 out of the planned capex of approximately 700 crores. The DI sales volume for the quarter was approximately 1.71 lakh tons and 7.17 lakh tons in FY25, with exports contributing 15% of the total DI volumes. I would like to highlight the demand of DI pipes going forward. The government has prioritized revenue growth over expenditure expansion to achieve the reduced fiscal deficit targets. so as to keep inflation down. Going forward, the Jal Jeevan Mission has received a budget allocation of 67,000 crores for FY26 and has been extended to the year FY28. This is a reflection of the government's commitment to provide safe and adequate drinking water through household tap connections in rural areas. Respectively, matching funds will be borne by the states. Disbursement of central funds is in process and will revive pipe demand in due course of the year. As of the latest reports, approximately 12.38 crore rural households have been provided with tap water connections, with many schemes needing source sustainability and operation and maintenance fixes. In many cases, the projects are still partially complete and the water source sustainability is not fully established. The work left to be executed is more than 4 crore households, and JJM, as previously mentioned, has already been extended up to December 2028. I will move on to the progress and allocation under the Amrut scheme. The Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, launched on October 1st, 2021, is a 5-year initiative by the Government of India aimed at enhancing urban infrastructure, ensuring water security, and promoting sustainable urban development across the country. The total indicative outlay was 2.99 lakh crores over 5 years, out of which the central assistance is 76,760 crores. As of November 2024, 8,998 projects worth 1,89,000 crores have been approved. We expect substantial expenditure on pipe procurement via Amrut 2. Some updates on the river linking project, which is managed by the National Water Development Agency under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. This project envisages the interlinking of rivers to enhance irrigation, mitigate floods, and ensure water availability across the nation. The main project that is taken up at present for implementation is the Ken-Betwa Link project. It is a 44,000 crore scheme to irrigate 10.6 lakh hectare in Bundelkhand. A number of other projects are also in the pipeline. National River Linking Project has the potential to generate considerable demand for both pipes and fittings in the future. Irrigation is another major demand driver for our pipes. India's irrigation sector has seen significant advancements. The government has prioritized irrigation development. There has been a shift to piped irrigation to lower losses and ease land acquisition problems. There's an estimated growth in the irrigation and flood control at the state level of 23% year on year. Moving on to exports, the Middle East and Africa pipe markets are valued at 8.13 billion in 2023 and is projected to reach 11.56 billion by 2031, growing at a CAGR of 4.5%. This growth is driven by infrastructure development and urbanization in the region. Similarly, the Middle East's iron and steel pipe market is expected to see steady demand growth over the next decade. Demand is driven by the good growth prospects in many Middle East countries, mainly Saudi Arabia. In Europe, we are the second biggest supplier of ductile iron pipes, and in the Middle East, we are the largest exporter. The recent US tariffs on iron and steel product imports have introduced volatility in the global steel prices, affecting the pipe industry. These tariffs can lead to increased costs, impacting manufacturers' margins and pricing strategies. However, the tariff on Indian DI exports to the US remains limited up to 10%, which will be reviewed again in July. I would now like to hand over the floor to Mr. Ashutosh Agarwal, Whole-Time Director and CFO, for taking you through the financial highlights.
Thank you, Madhavji. Good afternoon to all the investors present in this call. I would like to brief you about the financial results consolidated for Q4 2025. Total income stood at rupees 1,739 crores, partially impacted by the plant shutdown as explained by Madhavji. EBITDA at rupees 198 crores, EBITDA margin stood at 11.4%. PAT reported to rupees 168 crores, which includes 81 crores on account of one-time adjustment of deferred tax. Here I would like to mention to the investors that in 2017, as per the accounting standard in the AS, there was a window given to us and we have revalued the land of the company. And now in 2024, the government of India has changed the long-term capital gain tax rate from 20% to 12.5%. On account of that, there is a reversal of deferred tax liability of 81 crores. That is nothing to do with the cash flow of the company. This is just an accounting entry for your information, please. Highlighting our consolidated financial year 2025 company as a whole, total income stood to 7,443 crores, EBITDA stood to 1,159 crores, EBITDA margin 15.6 crores, 66%. PAT stood to 710 crores, which includes 81 crores as I explained to you earlier. Now I am talking about standalone results of Q4 2025. Total income stood to 1,601 crores, impacted the plant shutdown as mentioned by me and Ms. Madhavji. EBITDA stood to 213 crores, EBITDA margin 13.3%. PAT stood at 191 crores, which again included 81 crores as explained by me in my earlier note. For the year, standalone results are total income was rupees 6,840 crores, EBITDA 1,116 crores, EBITDA margin 16.3%, PAT 712 crores, which include 81 crores as mentioned to you. Board recommended 1.4% of equity per share. It means 140% dividend. We are maintaining the dividend from last year. On an above, the capex as mentioned by Madhavji, we had a plan of 500 crores and we have spent around 500 crores till March 2025 and balance 200 crores will be spent later on. The DI pipe capacity will be around 1 million ton in 2026-27. Now I am opening the floor for the question answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use their handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question comes from the line of Rajat Sethia from iThought PMS. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. So just a couple of questions. The capacity that we have, can the same plant or the same line make different sizes, different diameters pipes, or we need to have dedicated capacity for different sizes of the pipes?
So because of the machine mix that we have taken up as we've expanded our capacity, we do have a flexibility of 10-15% between different size mixes. So we can play with our capacity basis the requirements in the market.
Okay. So you're saying a particular line can make a pipe which can vary in diameter by 10-15% of its stated production sizes, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. And so one question regarding the a lot of talks are there about the OPVC pipes. So how do you see the development of OPVC pipes affecting DI pipes and in what sizes and all?
Sir, I can answer this question in two parts, one from the short to mid-term and then from the long-term perspective. For the short to mid-term, most of the projects that I have spoken about, which are under Jal Jeevan, etc., for them, their detailed project reports, etc., have already been made, and the chances of any upcoming recent demand being converted to OPVC is negligible. From the medium to long-term perspective, sir, if you look at the percolation of OPVC in markets where they are being used, like America and South America, North America and South America, yet there is decent amount of demand for smaller dia pipes in those markets. Coming to Europe, we are finding that OPVC is practically not there. The other aspect also is, sir, that because of many characteristics of a plastic pipe versus a metal pipe, the use cases are not overlapping in its entirety. There is an overlap, but it's not that you can use a metal pipe wherever a plastic pipe is used, and you cannot use a plastic pipe in a lot of use cases where only a metal pipe can be used. So I don't find OPVC to be a real threat. This sort of mindset, or rather this sort of concern had also come up when HDPE was introduced in the domestic market. But we find that smaller diameter pipes still run the demand for ductile iron pipes. So that in itself gives an answer of whether OPVC really would become a threat going forward, as it was felt HDPE would.
So you are saying it is kind of it's kind of a replacement, but it's not really affecting the larger application and use cases of the air pipes, right?
Yes, please. There might be a small percentage of the demand that can get converted at a local level, but that's not going to have a material impact on the demand of ductile iron pipes.
So, and up to what diameter, sir, is it going to present as an alternative to ODI?
Sir, if any replacement, then it would probably be up to diameter 150 or 200, not beyond that. They do operate till dia 400, but above dia 200, there's practically no chance of replacement.
And of our total capacity for the sales, what is the sales mix for us? Let's say up to 200 or 300 or more than that?
Sir, our demand scenario is that we will have approximately 40-50% up to dia 400 and another 50-60% up to dia 1200. So it's a 40-60 sort of mix, you can say, going forward.
And for our increased capacity also, the mix will remain in that range, right?
I'm sorry, your voice is a little...
sorry, is it any better now?
Yes, much better, please.
Okay, I was saying for the increased capacity, when our capacity goes to 1 million tons, the mix will remain in the same range, right?
Yes, please. Our mix is to make between 40 to 50% up to 400 and approximately 50% above 400. Okay. So it's in line with the market demand.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Akshay Deshpande from Ashika Institutional Equity. Please go ahead.
Hello. Hi, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please. Very good evening.
Hi, sir. I just wanted to know, have you received any cash from JJM projects in the previous 3 months?
Have you received any cash from the
JJM projects, Jal Jeevan Mission?
The project...
Or any bids?
No, there has been an ongoing movement in JJM. It's not that because the center has temporarily halted capex that the projects have stopped. As you must be aware that the state takes care of 50% of the expenditure. So the states which have reasonable resources like Odisha, MP, over there we are seeing movement. It's not at the same as it was, say, 6 months back, but not that there's a complete switch off on the JJM front.
Understood, sir. Would you be able to quantify it?
So it will be a little difficult for me to exactly quantify what has been the state-wise expenditure over the last 6 months. I would not have that information.
Okay, understood.
It's something I can
sir.
gather and get back to you if you like.
Understood, sir. So my second question, how was the price volatility in the previous 3 months for coking coal and iron ore?
On the coking coal, in the last 3 months, the prices have been actually varying to the tune of, say, $20 or so. So more or less, we can say that the coking coals have been more or less steady for the last 3 months. As far as iron ore is concerned, iron ore, there is a small upward trend, not really much to the tune of, say, 200 to 300 rupees a ton or so. So broadly speaking, I mean, both of these are remaining steady.
Understood, sir.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Ashaf Patel from Molecule Ventures. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is that we have been hearing on the JJM outlay from the center side is expected to be significantly cut down from 2.8 lakh crores to 1.5 lakh crores, almost a cut down of 1.25 lakh crores, which would largely has to be borne by then states, which we also know is quite difficult to get funds out of the state governments. So what's your view on this ongoing shrinkage of the JJM allocation?
Sir, as I had mentioned, and I've been mentioning for many investor calls, the initial outlay for Jal Jeevan was 8 lakh crores. That was during 2019. Post that, there has been a shift in prices of all materials and even manpower. So to finish the project, they will require the estimated 9.10 lakh crores. There's no two ways about it. Your apprehension is well placed when it comes to certain states where they are running into financial troubles, but there are specific states where there will continue to remain central support, such as Bihar and Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, and also there are certain states which are reasonably well-to-do from their cash flow perspective, such as Odisha. So your concern is limited to specific states, sir, for me. I think Karnataka probably is one state where there might be some work which will take longer than what it should to finish. But again, most states which are struggling financially, fortunately, are double engines, sir. So they have the support from the center. So in some garb or the other, I'm very certain that the government would like to finish the work to completion, have it completed.
Got it. And sir, as per the JJM progress, which is mentioned on the website, they are claiming to have 80% of the penetration. But ground level scuttlebutt from our side suggests that the actual penetration is much lower, closer to a 60% level. So what is your view on the same? Have we penetrated 80% of the targeted JJM market?
मैं 1.5-2 साल से बोल रहा था कि 40-50% कवरेज एक्चुअल में है, तो मैं बल्कि मतलब what I was saying, I find that has now come out in public, but this is a reality that I am noticing on the ground because of our network. We are well aware of the ground realities. We have probably the strongest sales and marketing network in the country for ductile iron pipes. And that helps us get a better understanding of what's happening on the ground. And that's the reason why the past few quarters I've been mentioning that the real work on the ground is far lower than what it is stating. Yes, the tap connections are there, and yes, we've made commendable progress. There's no two ways about it, but we are a very big country with a huge landmass and a huge population. So it takes time. I mean, I draw parallels to countries like the USA and China, since they have similar, they've faced similar population growths recently, and you'll find that even today they have a substantial demand.
Okay.
America,
do you expect by FY-28 we would be largely be able to achieve the JJM target, or it could even then further fall off even after 28?
So, sir, if the situation happens so that the burden of the 1.5 lakh crores goes on to the states, then in my opinion, this might get pushed to maybe FY-30 for those specific states which are going to be struggling financially. Apart from that, I think by 28, 90-95% of the work should have been done.
Got it, sir. Got it.
But then, then there's a population growth that is also constantly happening. So, that's why I say 90-95%. To reach 100% will take some time, sir, for our country.
Makes sense. And sir, we have also been hearing in terms of fund flow slowdown specifically across, and that is something which is across the B2G companies, but specifically to the Jal Jeevan missions and water infrastructure, it has been the most impacted industry. So, what is your view on that? Are you seeing challenge in terms of working capital over last couple of quarters, and do you see it easing out anytime soon?
So there has been a marginal increase in the debtor cycle for the company, but we adhere to a very strict policy when it comes to our supply chain, outward supply chain especially, wherein we don't look forward to, we don't allow for open credits beyond a certain number of days and beyond specific customers. So because of that, we've not seen a major impact. And if anything, going forward, things are to only improve. I think from the cash flow perspective, although not much impacted, I think we are at rock bottom.
Okay. But you have visibly seen the slowdown over last couple of quarters.
Very marginal, sir. As I was mentioning, there are also other demand drivers today in the market. So it's not that there is ever a time that suddenly, because Jal Jeevan has slowed down or stopped, there is a zero cash income inflow cycle,
Absolutely agreed. And the last question on my side, as per Coal India website, almost 70% of the pending compensation regarding the suspended coal mines have already been settled. What is the update on our expected compensation? Are we seeing any positive development there?
Sir, there are definitely some positive developments. So far, I've been mentioning that I don't want to comment on timelines because I've been proved wrong. But with recent developments, I'm hopeful that this financial year we should see this matter settled to a very large degree.
Makes sense. Okay, sir. Thank you and all the very best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question comes from the line of Abhishek Yogesh Shah from Valcore Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So I was looking at the numbers. We've seen a sharp fall in, your margins and realizations also. So just wanted to get some understanding on how are you seeing the realization shape up, say, in the coming quarter, and also on, what sort of bottom line could we be looking at? Because EBITDA per ton, last year we were looking at upwards of, say, 16, 17, 18 rupees per kg. We've seen a fall. So I'm just trying to understand, where do you see it for the year as well?
So I would prefer answering margin-related questions in percentages because I think that's a better matrix. Our product is 60 to 70% iron and coal cost dependent. So the absolute value per unit is moving because of that. So it's better to talk on percentages, in my opinion. As this particular financial year, we've hit a EBITDA margin of approximately 16%, I've been mentioning that 15 to 18 is the range that we are looking at in the mid to long term. In good years, we see ourselves operating sometimes even above that. Historically, ductile iron pipes as an independent operating business has never gone below 15%. Moving forward, for this particular quarter, things have started moving now in the center because of the revamped estimates. There's a lot of paperwork and administrative approvals that are going to take maybe another 2-3 months to come into place. Since it's a big mechanism, it takes some time to move. But things are moving forward, as you must be seeing articles coming out every week or so about what the update is on Jal Jeevan spending. So things are moving forward at the central level, and very soon the money will start coming in. I think starting Q2, there will be an upcycle again. So I'm very hopeful that we will be able to stay on the upper side of this bandwidth for the medium term.
Got it. Sir, and how are you seeing capacity additions? We are adding substantial capacity, which is due to come soon. At industry level also, we've seen significant capacity addition. So maybe if you can throw some numbers on that and give us some idea, how do you see the demand and supply shaping up for the next year or two?
Sir, the demand scenario at the moment with the river linking projects, the irrigation business, and the reinstated budget of Jal Jeevan, I think demand will, which was earlier beyond supply by 25%, will remain to be ahead of supply by approximately 10-12% for the next 2 years. Coming to 28-29, I think that's when the demand and supply cycle will meet.
Got it. That's all, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Subhash from Value Investments. Please go ahead.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, please.
Okay, I just had a question on your revenue. I understand that from the last 2 quarters, you had some maintenance in your manufacturing units, right? I think maybe 1 or 2 quarters ago, you even said that the maintenance was almost complete, but the output was not as per the expectations. But I see in your investor presentation that you have mentioned that the production will be stabilized going forward. So is the revenue down because of that, or is it because of the state not spending much money, as you mentioned about Jal Jeevan Mission? Is it because of that you are seeing less income?
Sir, I would say the bigger part of the reduction in revenue is owing to the maintenance shutdowns that we had. Definitely the slowdown in expenditure has played a part in the reduced revenue for the second half of the year. First half remains strong.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons why also the decision for taking a shutdown was taken, although we had taken one in Q2, was because of the slowed demand situation. We are very certain of the fact that going forward the demand will pick up. So it was an opportune time for us to take the shutdown right now, rather than having to do it at the time when the markets are high.
Got it. Thank you. And also, how do you account the revenue? Is it as soon as you supply the materials from your manufacturing units to the sellers, or do you record the revenues after you receive actual cash?
The moment the material is reaching to the customer site, we are recognizing in the income.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So for this quarter, you are around EBITDA margin of 11.4%, and I understand it's because of the maintenance. But so going forward, as you said, it would be around 15 to 18%, right?
Sir, I'm very hopeful that for the medium term, up till 27, 28, we will be on the upper end of this band.
Upper end, okay. That's great to hear. Okay, thank you. And do you have any update about the latest land acquisition that you did around Odisha, I guess, right? Which you announced maybe 3 quarters ago?
Yes, please. We are very closely in touch with the government to get our approvals and other auxiliary requirements in place, I think there was a bit of a slowdown due to the government change in Odisha as well. It was taking a little longer. They took a couple of quarters to really get everything back in order. But plans are still on, and I am very, I think I'm very excited to bring about some good news very soon for the investors.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Because the next question I had about was, in your presentation, you have mentioned that by 26 end, right, FY26 end, you will have 10 million tons of production capacity. So, I mean, this is without considering the latest land acquisition, right? So this could go up.
So 1 lakh tons.
Sorry, yeah, 1 lakh tons, right.
So 1 million is in our existing facilities. Approximately 1 million will be our capacity in the existing facilities. That we are still in progress for that, sir, because that has no nexus with the expansion in Odisha.
This plan does not include the Odisha land acquisition plans, like whatever you have it for future, right, for that land?
Yes, please.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Rajesh Agarwal from Moneyore. Please go ahead.
Sir, this quarter we have taken a maintenance shutdown. So can you quantify the production loss or any one-off for the shutdown? One of it.
Sir, owing to the maintenance shutdown, we have had a reduction in the output by approximately 50,000 tons.
Okay.
For the one that was there in Q3, Q4.
Okay. And any other expenses also for the...
Any other expenses?
Expenses for the shutdown on this one, maintaining the plant or whatever. One-time expenses.
We have incurred around 13 crores for that.
Okay. So second, you said tariff will, the 10% tariff will affect our export? No.
Not really, sir.
Not really. Okay.
I don't see that. Just to give some further clarity on this, please. Our total export to the US tantamounts to around 1.5% to 2% of our exports. Okay. So we are not very dependent on it to begin with. And to add to that, a 10% tariff will not make our competitiveness in the US market any lesser. So I don't see it impacting the 1.5% to 2% either.
Okay. So other countries won't have an advantage to us, huh? Either in Saudi and all Middle East also? No.
No, sir. So then, apart from Electrosteel, there is no other company who exports into the US market.
Understood. Sir, why the working capital days have gone up? If you see the previous, working capital days have gone up.
What is reduced? It was 1,800 crores earlier working capital debt. Now it is 1,400 crores.
See, not the debt, number of days.
Number of days, yes. Number of days it is.
So, sir, that is in two parts. As mentioned earlier, we've seen a slight slowdown in the customer payment cycle.
Understood.
We had pushed some of our material to our subsidiaries across the globe because we were expecting sales pickup, which we will see in due course reflecting in our figures. So there's some extension in the overall.
So going forward, it will improve? The days will improve?
Absolutely.
Okay. And sir, now I heard state government is trying to do a water project in HAM model. So for tying up the funds with the investors. So will that affect our business? Will the business go up?
I'm hopeful that it will, sir, on this regard, because earlier, whenever HAM has been tried, it's not been very successful, so I cannot be very confident about it, but the mindset of the investors towards public-private partnerships has considerably changed over the last 5-6 years. So I am positive about it, yes.
So after April, the allocation of JM has increased. So you're seeing a movement in the tender movement, inquiry, or...
So you mean JJM?
JJM.
Sir, there has been a lot of positive movement at the central level when it comes to approval of funding, etc., which had seen a bit of a stalemate for 6 months. I think impact on the ground will start coming in from Q2.
Okay. And so you said Ken Betwa, the project cost is 45,000 crore. So can that result into a huge DI pipe order? So what percentage can be DI pipes contribution in that?
Sir, that is going to be a mixed bag of canal, dam, and pipe irrigation, and we will see demand come up mainly in DI and HDP.
Okay.
So I would say approximately 15-odd%.
15-odd%.
Yes, please. 15 to 20.
That will start by when, the demand for DI pipes?
Sir, I think second half of this financial year, we should start seeing some demand from Ken Betwa come into DI pipes.
Okay. And so the last question on this Indus Water Treaty, whatever has been kept in abeyance, the government starts activity of their building a dam and other water infrastructure. That can also result into orders for DI pipes.
Absolutely, sir. It's not something we want to highlight much right now because it's very nascent, but this is something that we have at the back of our mind.
I have a feeling at the moment that will be very fast. That is what my guess.
I'm very certain of it, sir, but as there is nothing concrete.
Understood. But the DI pipes will be required now there.
Absolutely.
And so the last question, what will be the capex for 25-26?
Rajesh, if you can please join back the queue.
Last question, only one question. Capex only, I'm asking the capex for 25-26 and maintenance capex.
25-26, the capex would be somewhere around 200 crores.
Okay. And maintenance capex?
Additional capex, including
additional capex.
Maintenance capex.
Okay. The capex and maintenance will be how much and capex will be?
Maintenance capex altogether will be 35 crores, or 160 crores will be some new capex.
Understood, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question comes from the line of Ankit Puri, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Mr. Madhav. I wanted to check up, can you please comment on the reasons for the increase in the inventory levels and how do you see it panning out going ahead? Also, if you can provide insights into the current and future capacity utilization.
So, sir, the increase in inventory level is owing to a slight slowdown in the market demand. In regard to the capacity utilizations, I am expecting that over the next 2 to 3 years for the industry, the capacity utilization should be somewhere between 85 to 90%. We will probably be operating at a slightly higher level than that.
All right. And what has been for this particular quarter and for FY-25?
So for this particular quarter, our capacity utilization has been probably 60% or so, but that is owing to the shutdown. Subsequently, I think going forward from Q1 to Q2 to Q3, we should see a ramp up of 10 to 15% each quarter as we are coming out of the maintenance shutdown and ramping up, and also support from the markets for demand.
All right. Lastly, what updates can you provide on the traded products through the Singardo acquisition panning out?
So, one very good movement that we've seen that we've managed to do due to the acquisition is to enter the Vietnam market. Although we started with very small orders, but because we've improved our presence in the area, we have now started discussing reasonable size orders with the local contractors and business houses. So that's one big benefit. We are also being able to procure a small quantity of products via Singapore from countries around like Vietnam and China, etc. for products in the basket which we are adding, like coupling adapters, etc. for our subsidiaries in the Western Hemisphere. This is just a beginning, sir. With time, we will see this grow substantially.
All right, that's very heartening to hear. Thank you so much for the updates.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Rajesh Bhandari from Nakoda Engineers. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. अच्छा सर, एक तो ये जो आपका कोल माइंस वाला जो सेटल होने का है, हाउ मच अमाउंट आर वी एक्सपेक्टिंग?
जी वो मैं कोई फिगर बता नहीं पाऊंगा अभी. देयर इज नो एग्जैक्ट इंडिकेटिव अमाउंट.
नहीं एग्जैक्ट नहीं सर, एक अप्रोक्सीमेटली कि भाई 200 करोड़ 500 करोड़ 1000 करोड़ लगता है.
बहुत मुश्किल होगा बताना, बट हम काफी रीजनेबल चंक ऑफ आवर क्लेम तो डेफिनेटली रिकवर कर लेंगे.
आपका क्लेम कितना है सर?
1200 करोड़ सर.
ओह अच्छा, चलिए आपके मुंह में घी शक्कर सर, अगर जितना क्लेम हो जाए अपना. सर दूसरा, जी सर, और दूसरा सर, अभी जैसे रशिया यूक्रेन वाला भी सेटल हो रहा है और बाकी इधर में जैसे दूसरा हमास वगैरह वाला भी थोड़ा धीरे ठंडा पड़ रहा है, तो उससे डिमांड कुछ बढ़ेगी सर?
जी हमास वाले इशू पे जब थोड़ा सेटलमेंट होगा तो हमारा सप्लाई चेन हमारे एग्जिस्टिंग मार्केट्स में बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रीमलाइन हो जाएगा. थोड़ा पिछले 1-1.5 साल से वहाँ पे हमें काफी प्रॉब्लम्स आई हैं. हमारा स्टॉक लेवल हमें सब्सिडीज में ज्यादा रखना पड़ रहा है. हमारा फ्रेट टाइम काफी बढ़ गया है. वहाँ पे हमें बहुत रिलीफ मिलेगा. आज हमारे ये पार्ट भी है कि यूक्रेन जब वॉर स्टार्ट हो रहा था, हम वहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करना स्टार्ट कर दिए थे सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग से. और ईस्टर्न यूरोप हमारे लिए एक काफी इम्पोर्टेंट न्यू फ्रंटियर है. तो थोड़ा मामला ईज ऑफ हो वहाँ पे तो हम वो एफर्ट्स रीस्टार्ट करेंगे और डेफिनेटली डिमांड इम्प्रूवमेंट दिखेगी हमें वहाँ से.
वहाँ डिमांड तो बहुत बढ़ेगा सर, मतलब अपना अगर इन्फ्लुएंस है तो नेचुरली वी कैन हैव अ गुड चंक ऑफ ऑर्डर.
We had started establishing presence over there, sir.
जी, अच्छा. और अभी सर जैसे अपन रेगुलर प्लांट शटडाउन ले रहे हैं, तो अभी जो अपन ने ले लिया ऑलरेडी, तो अभी और तो ज्यादा कुछ शटडाउन का कोई चांस है नहीं सर? प्लांट शटडाउन
अभी नियर फ्यूचर में तो कोई शटडाउन की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होगी. जी. एज आई वाज मेंशनिंग, हम पास्ट में जो शटडाउन लिए भी थे Q3 Q4 पे, दैट वाज जस्ट टू फर्दर इनहांस what we could not achieve from the first shutdown, and because the market was slow, we thought that it's a good time to exercise this option.
तो अभी अपने पास ऑर्डर बुक कितने महीने का है सर?
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Only last question. Only last. ऑर्डर बुक कितने महीने का है सर?
सर करीबन 7.5 महीने का.
अच्छा. ओके, एंड वी एक्सपेक्ट इट टू बी बेटर इन फ्यूचर.
Yes, please.
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time and fairness to others, we request you to restrict to 2 questions per participant and rejoin the question queue. The next question comes from the line of Saket Kapoor from Kapoor and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Namaskar team, and thank you for the opportunity. Madhavji, only residual questions and some clarification. Firstly, sir, you mentioned that this would be the financial year where we would be expecting some conclusion on the coal compensation part. So, if you could just elaborate, sir, what factors have enjoyed that? किस ground पे आपको ये विश्वास अभी मिल रहा है? Because sir, हमारा अभी तक वो रिकॉन्सिलेशन ही नहीं हुआ है फिगर का कि कितने रुपए में प्राप्त होंगे, उसको लेकर डिस्प्यूट है. तो अगर आप इस पर सर थोड़ा और लाइट थ्रो करें.
एक्टिविटी लेवल और इंटरेक्शन लेवल काफी बढ़ गया है. There were few steps I think that were not cleared out by the government for JSW to start operating. जैसे अलग-अलग टाइप के क्लियरेंसेस होते हैं सर माइनिंग के लिए. As and when JSW is also getting those clearances and those steps are clearing out, I think both the parties and even the mining in the ministry wants to now see the conclusion happen so that the asset can be revived. So that is my reason for showing some positivity on that front.
So, sir, JSW has already paid to the ministry for vesting orders which they have received.
सर एक सर्टन उनके ब्रेकअप्स होते हैं, जो उनको गवर्नमेंट को पैसा देना है वो तो वो दिए हैं, जो हमें देना है वो एज एंड व्हेन एस्टैब्लिश हो जाएगा अमाउंट, दे विल रीइंबर्स अस.
अच्छा सर, सेकेंडली आपने बताया कि इस वित्त वर्ष में फॉर दिस फाइनेंशियल ईयर वी हैव लॉस्ट टनेज क्लोजर टू 50,000 टन बिकॉज हैड these two shutdowns not been planned, our tonnages the sales would have been higher by 50,000 tons. This is what the understanding is.
Sir, if both the shutdowns are considered, then probably we would have seen a slightly even higher than 50,000 ton production number. मतलब 60,000 के आसपास 65,000 tons और बहुत था हमारा.
So इतना तो सर definitely we will add for this year on 7,17,000 का. No sir, I'm only concluding the reply from Madhav sir. Kindly allow me to complete.
Please sir.
Yes sir, but what I was mentioning sir, that is on top of 7,17,000. Definitely we will be adding this 60,000 tons for this financial year. This should be the base minimum that we should be doing, because now the capacity is also move up to 9 lakh.
So sir, 9 lakh का installed capacity है. Since it takes a little time to ramp up, we are expecting to hit something between 830 to 850 this financial year.
ठीक है साहब, I'll join the queue for 2 more financial questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Muskan Rastogi from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, thank you for the opportunity. Sir, for the last few quarters, the company has been guiding that there has been no weakness in the realizations. However, the realizations are still on a downward trend. We also interacted with L&T team and we got a feedback that the realization of DI is at 58 to 60 rupees per kg range and demand is also subdued. So can you please give color on this, and also what would be your volume guidance for FY26 and 27?
Well, ma'am, as I was mentioning previously in this call, the absolute realization numbers is a result of both demand and the movement of the iron ore and coal pricing. Part of the reason for the softening on the realization is also that the input material costs have come down. Going forward, the movement of the realization is going to be a consequence of the demand moving up, which will create an upward pressure, and we are hoping that the pricing for the raw materials remains stable, seeing that possibly no major geopolitical issue arises. There might be some upward movement in the iron ore if and when the government starts picking up on many of its infrastructure projects beyond Jal Jeevan as well. So this will, I think, lead to the average realization going up. Currently, the realization is between 58 to 60 rupees, but that is for new orders. We are carrying over orders from the past as well. So the effective realization is always a blend of old and new orders.
Mm-hmm. So what would be your volume guidance for next 2 years?
Volume guidance, please?
Yeah, volume guidance for sales volume guidance for DI for next 2 years.
Ma'am, I think for the next financial year, we will be somewhere between 8.3 to 8.5 lakh tons. And in the subsequent year, we should be crossing 9 lakh tons, please.
Okay, so another question. In a normalized spread scenario, if we do rupees 9 to 10 EBITDA per kg, then post-tax ROC for the core business comes to around 10%. Just wanted to understand what is the reason behind going for such large capex in same business in Odisha if the return ratios are just 10%.
Well, ma'am, 9 to 10 rupees would be a conservative figure. I think that the return on capital for the core business would be a little higher than that. We also have to keep in consideration that Electrosteel as a company has historically also exported pipes, and we are also looking at a expansion in our fittings business, which is a higher capital return business. So we are very certain of hitting around 12 to 13% at a very, I would say, realistic, slightly conservative level.
So because this quarter it was 8 rupees per kg, hence I was asking this.
Well, ma'am, one has to appreciate that the last 6 months has possibly been rock bottom for the DI industry. So we cannot plan basis that, as when last year around quarter 3, quarter 4, we were hitting 20% plus EBITDA numbers. Even at that point, we had also mentioned that 20% plus is an unsustainable number. We are very certain of maintaining a range of 16, 17, 18%. So those are the figures that we have to look at. We cannot get swayed by short-term up and down swings.
Okay, sir. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question comes from the line of Rajat Sethia from iThought PMS. Please go ahead. Rajat, if you can please unmute your line and ask your question.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for the opportunity once again. Sir, what is the maximum achievable capacity utilization possible at the plant, at the company level?
Sir, I think between 90 to 95%.
Okay. And you mentioned that we will soon be hitting those numbers like in the next 1 year or so, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, and we are adding capacity, so that's how we expect our growth to come from. And we expect to maintain these higher levels as well, right, for the next 3-4 years.
Yes, please.
And so what is the frequency of shutdowns generally? And how many years do we need a shutdown?
So, sir, we have an annual shutdown, which averages around 10 to 15 days in each unit. Barring that, we have shorter 1 or 2 day shutdowns every alternate month.
Okay.
Rajiv, why don't you mention the total shutdown days for a unit of in our industry?
Yeah, but normally, the running days in a year are in the range between 346 to 350.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Ashaf Patel from Molecule Ventures PMS. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity for a follow-up question. Sir, my question is, if we end up receiving the coal compensation whenever we receive it, how do we envisage to consume that capital?
Sir, in the new project?
Okay, but we don't plan to deleverage the balance sheet meaningfully from around 2,000 crore debt level?
So, sir, I think moving forward, we will probably maintain and slightly reduce our total leverage position while still going ahead with the greenfield project. So that's quite a comfortable level for us, maintaining a 1 million ton plus production capacity in pipe while keeping say 1,500 crore to 2,000 crore total debt level, total net debt level. I think it's something that we are targeting to achieve and is very much in our grasp.
Got it, sir. And just wanted to understand what is your thought in terms of selection of product when it comes to greenfield expansion, because what we have also been hearing is that we have been seeing steep competition from the some of the non-listed DI manufacturers. In terms of the margins, they are aggressively pricing their product compared to what pricing we are doing. So don't you think there is too much of competition in terms of the supply side is also increasing for the DI? So don't we plan to enter into newer products for the greenfield?
Most definitely, sir. There are new products that are being envisaged. We mentioned before that as a company we wish to move towards a manufacturer and supplier of the entire water infrastructure space. So, slowly we are covering all products. Very recently we set up a small production line for gaskets also, which goes into the pipeline. And similarly, in the new production facility, we will add products that go into the water infrastructure space beyond just fittings and pipes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we take that as the last question and conclude the question and answer session. I will now hand the conference over to the management for their closing comments.
I would like to thank all our investors for dedicating your valuable time and engaging with us during this con call. I want to reaffirm that the company is not only expanding but also preserving the robustness of its balance sheet. Moreover, we are strategically poised to capitalize on the increasing domestic and global investments in water infrastructure. Should the investors have any further questions, please reach out to EY, our investor relations consultants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
On
you,
behalf
everybody.
of Electrosteel Casting Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.